What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So the stock market did well today. S&P 500 up 41 points, up 1.1%. Dow Jones up 470, up 1.6%. And the NASDAQ 100 up 75 points, up 0.6%. As the Russell 2000 led the way, hit an all-time high, and went up 2.4% on the day. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over a bunch of stocks that I'm looking to buy right now. And I also want to share with you guys what I've been doing in the market as of late, some earnings reports, and in general where my head is at right now as a trader and as an investor. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure to get your 3 free stocks from WeBull down below, and let's get right into it. And by the way, that actually runs out on the 18th, the 3 free stocks. So get those down below. So S&P 500 ended up going up 41 points today, up 1.1%. And last week, guys, we talked about the W-shape pattern. And I'm not sure if this has an official name. To me, it just looks like a W, right? A W formation. We talked about how last week this was looking like it was playing out, right? We hit an all-time high last Monday at 36.45 when that great news of a V-shot came out from Pfizer. We took a hit on the S&P down to about 3,500, rallied back up to 3,600, back down to 3,500, and you guys can see it here on the 5-day, 5-minute. And then we rallied on Friday, and what that told me, and I said this yesterday, right, in Sunday's video, and by the way, every Sunday we talk about the game plan for the upcoming week, right, so make sure to subscribe. We talked about how we saw the rally on Friday, which was perfect since before the rally, we saw the double bottom, right? And a double bottom followed by a rally, which is great. Again, why we saw the rally on Friday is a very bullish move, right? So we saw the double bottom at 35.10, 3,500, 35.20, right around there. And then we saw the breakout, and we closed right above 35.80 as a support, which, like I said, that was very, very bullish of a close for the S&P 500 on Friday. And we got some great news today from Moderna. And it's funny, guys. It seems like they almost calculate when they want to release the news. I'm sure they actually do that. And both Mondays in a row here, we've gotten great news about the V-shot. So we got a nice pop in the markets today from Moderna, and I'll go over that in a second, which got us out of 35.85 and out of 3600, which I said yesterday, if we get into 3600, it's likely that we fill the gap up to 3645. And hey, I don't have a crystal ball here, but we pretty much called it out correctly, right? We didn't fill up all the way to 36.45, but we got pretty close, closing around 18, 19 points shy of that all-time high. And overall, what you guys need to know is the gap into 3,600 is extremely bullish here on the S&P, and I wouldn't be surprised if we were to hit all-time highs again at some point this week. Honestly, if I were to bet money on it, I would say maybe 80% chance we hit another all-time high this week. I mean, the Dow just hit an all-time high today, and the Russell 2000 also hit an all-time high today, which, guys, if you haven't been watching the Russell 2000, it actually has not hit an all-time high ever since 2018, ever since August of 2018. So this is the first all-time high in over 2 years for the Russell 2000. But back to the S&P, and let's talk about what happened today with Moderna very quickly. The drug maker stock soared more than 7% today, and we might as well just pull it up. It went up 7% today after announcing preliminary phase 3 trial data that shows its CVV shot is more than 94% effective in preventing the you-know-what, right? Moderna is the second U.S. company, like I said, the first was Pfizer, that came out with positive results from its first, or not its first, but in general, its CV trials. So this is great, right? 94% is obviously a tad bit better than the 90%, but the fact that we have 2 of these V-shots now that are looking very solid, that is some good news for the economy overall, consumer confidence overall, as we all know that once this V-shot gets produced to the masses, and for those that want to take it, they end up taking it, we're going to see a lot more confidence for people to go out to restaurants, travel, do all the fun leisure activities that they want, which will end up boosting up the economy, right? So this is great news. Moderna went up from $92 to $105 pre-market, took another big hit back down to pretty much where it was before the spike up at around $93, $94, and then we saw a nice little rally into the close. And on this actual spike from Moderna, we saw Pfizer take a big hit. So these two are going to be ones worth watching, Pfizer and Moderna, and that's overall why we saw a big spike in the markets today across all of the indexes pretty much, and tech did struggle the most out of the bunch. We'll get into that here in a second, but overall we saw green all across the board. And when it comes down to SPY, we gapped out of 358, and this is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500 for those of you guys that don't know. We ended up breaking up $4.47 today on SPY, broke 358, and now we're in breakout territory, making our way up to the next resistance, which at this point is that high at $366.77. So watch out for SPY in this range between 358, 360 as support and 366 up top as resistance. And the Dow Jones, what did we see last Monday, guys? I said this yesterday, I'll say it again. Last Monday we saw one of the best days I've seen in recent memory of the Dow Jones. We went up almost $1,800. I mean, we haven't seen those types of swings since back in March when the market took that hit and we saw recovery days that were absolutely ridiculous. But ever since then, a couple months ago, this was definitely the biggest swing in the Dow Jones. And with today's move, we almost hit 30,000. That infamous number, 30,000, we almost hit it. We got about $36 or points shy of that number. So that's going to be one to keep an eye out for tomorrow if we're able to get up above 30,000. But overall, this is very bullish on the Dow. Ever since we broke 29,000, we called the breakout on the Dow. We got it. We ended up going up to about 29,900 last Monday. Now we just broke that level. We're almost into 30K. So this could be breakout territory. Maybe we see another leg up in the Dow tomorrow. I think that is in the cards. That's very possible. So that's kind of what I'm watching out for. And let's say we did see a leg up and then we start to sell off. Maybe a potential support could be around 29,700, 800, 900. So watch those levels heading into tomorrow. And the NASDAQ 100, like I said, tech didn't do that bad. I mean, some tech stocks were red, but overall, it had a pretty solid day, up 0.6%. We ended up breaking a resistance from last week, which was pretty big, at about 11,960 here, 11,965, 70, right around there. You guys can see we struggled there on Thursday and Friday. So the fact that we took out that resistance, we held it as support, double bottomed, and broke out into the close. That's a very good sign for the NASDAQ. We might end up filling the gap up to maybe 12,170, 200, maybe 260, which is that high that you guys are seeing here on the 5-day, 5-minute. I think that's very possible, again, especially because we gapped up today and ended up doing pretty well on the day. So that's kind of overall the market here, guys. And again, the Russell hit an all-time high, which is crazy. It's been 2 years since it has hit an all-time high. So let me know your thoughts down below. I would love to know. And quickly, let's talk about some industries, sectors, I almost forgot, that did very well today because of this second V shot that we're getting and the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will, that we're seeing here. So banks did very well today. Think of JP Morgan. Think of, Bank of America. These did well today, right? They're up 2-3%. Hotels did well today. Cruise lines, CCL. Take a look at CCL, up 10%. RCL ended up going up 7%. Airlines did well today. Think of AAL, American Airlines, up, let's see here, 4.5%. UAL ended up going up, let's see here, about 5%. LUV Southwest, which is arguably my favorite airline, up 4%. And we saw some energy plays, energy stocks do well as well. XOM, Exxon, that's one that's interesting here, high dividend, but Pretty risky dividend if you ask me. I mean, not extremely risky, but I wouldn't say it's safe. Let's just put it that way. And it ended up going up 6%. And we had CVX, which is Chevron, up 7% today, guys. This thing's been breaking out like crazy, up $20 in the past couple of days. So I think, honestly, out of all of these, I'm looking at energy the most because they're still the ones that are the most beaten down out of all the, I'd say, sectors, industries out there. So energy, XOM, CVX, I think there could be potential there in the short term here with the V-shot news and so forth because, again, going back to consumer confidence, right? People are going to want to travel more. They're going to want to take that trip across the country, across the globe, here and there. So that will end up, obviously, producing more business for the airlines and thus more fuel, more energy is going to be used. That's just one argument here for these, stocks going up and the price of oil going up as well, but that's a different topic for a different video. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you think about all this? Are you buying stocks? Are you selling? Are you just sitting on cash now that we're pretty much back at all-time highs? Let me know your thoughts. And if you're enjoying the video, hit that like button. Let's try to get 400 likes. Actually, no, let's be a little ambitious today. Can we get 450 likes? Hit that like button. Let's try to get 450 on today's video. So for me, guys, what I personally did today, I ended up adding a little bit of Workhorse. And you guys remember, right? I've been in Workhorse for a while now. I ended up adding initially at about $24. I ended up holding a bit through the pain there, down to 15, and I told you all that I'm looking to add a little bit more to my position after earnings. So now it's after earnings. We've seen a nice little uptrend since earnings. I mean, it's been steady climbing pretty much. They reported last Monday, if I remember correctly. Let me double check that. But ever since they reported, it seems like it was last Monday. It's been smooth sailing, right? Higher highs, higher lows, all that good stuff. And we took a pretty big dip on Friday from 21.60 down to about 18.90, $19. It actually got down to almost 18.50. I considered adding a little bit there on Friday, but with today's gap up, and we ended up seeing a nice momentum shift and kind of the continuation of the uptrend today. I ended up adding a little bit, I believe at 1970, 1975, right around that area. And we also got some great news from Lordstown Motors, which we'll cover later on in this video, that Workhorse actually owns a 10% stake in. We got some good news from them that I want to talk about that actually ended up pushing up the stock's price, Workhorse's stock's price up today. So I added a little bit there. Now my cost went from about $24. I guess maybe you can say it's down to 22-ish, $22.50, right around there, because I honestly went a little bit heavier in the initial position. Now I averaged down with not as much, so the cost basis doesn't just drop completely, right, guys, if you're, looking at the different weightings of your entry points. But overall, I'm in at about 22.50, and this is a longer term swing trade for me. You guys know that. And we ended up closing under $20 here. I think the next gap to fill could be up to about $22 and that resistance from Friday, right? So watch out here for Workhorse. I'm in this one. Apple is another one that I'm still in, guys. AAPL did well today, up almost 1%, 0.9% here to be exact. And I'm up on this position a good amount. And like I said, if we get a break out of 122, 123, which you guys can see clearly, we've been struggling under 122 the past couple trading days. I think if we get out of there, 127 is the short-term target, and that is where I'd consider taking maybe half my profits. I haven't really decided quite yet. I'm thinking maybe half my profits, 75% of the profits. We'll end up seeing how it goes down, but Apple, I'm in that one. I'm also still holding a little bit of Square at about $180.75. This is one that's pretty much break even for me right now, and I think it's breakout territory anywhere above 185. That actually is where we got rejected at a couple days ago, and I kind of do regret not selling here because I got in, I think, the day before that, but it got up to 185, and it ended up going back down to about 177 that same day. And now looking back, I mean, obviously hindsight's 2020, but looking back, that could have been a nice spot to get out for just quick in and out type of profit, but you can't play that looking back type of game because obviously it's in the past. We have to focus on the future now, and I still think there is upwards potential here with Square, which is why I'm still holding on to my shares. And what else am I in, guys? EA, I'm also still in EA. This one not doing so well for me. I'm actually down a decent amount. I might be down, a couple, I think like $10, $12 a share. I'm in at about $132, $133 on this particular stock, and that's what I'm holding for the most part. No, I almost forgot. SLV as well. SLV is another one just to have a hedge there with silver, right? SLV ends up tracking the price of silver, so this is one that I actually like, as I think silver in the next couple of months does have a lot of upside, which is why I want to have that SLV exposure, which again, it just simply tracks the price of silver here. So that's what I'm doing, guys. Those are some thoughts on the markets in general. Let me know what you guys are doing down below. Your thoughts. Again, I would love to know what you guys are up to. Now let's talk about some earnings reports. We had JD.com, one of the most popular Chinese companies out there, report today, down 7.4%, and they had EPS that actually beat 50 cents versus 40 cents estimated, so a nice little 10-cent beat there. And revenue actually came in line with expectations. So that could be a reason of why we're seeing a drop, maybe the disappointment that they didn't beat revenue, and revenue was at about $25.7 billion. So that could be why they're going down. I mean, let me double check the live news tab. Maybe they ended up guiding down with future earnings. I don't think they did. So yeah, maybe it's just that revenue didn't do as well as expected in terms of that estimate. That could be a reason why. But overall, I mean, I'm not complaining about the pull down on a decent earnings report. I mean, it's probably a little bit better than decent, but I'm not complaining because we were arguably overbought at $98, and that was actually pre-market today. We were at $98 per share, ended up selling off all the way to 84. Now we're coasting at about 85. And notice how on this 4-hour chart, I extended this trend line. $85 is a resistance that we struggled at literally from the beginning of September. We got rejected there once. We struggled there in the middle of October and pretty much all throughout October heading into the beginning of November. So 85, in my humble opinion, I think it has a pretty solid chance of holding as support. And this could really be a dip buy. It really could be. And who knows, maybe if we don't hold 84, 85, we might gap down to about $81, which was that resistance from the end of August. That's also an option, $81, $82. If I extend this to the right, you'll be able to see it, and that could be right around the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart. That could also be a dip buy. So I think anywhere from 82, 81 to 84, $85. I think that's a pretty nice spot for JD to pick up some shares. And again, this is my opinion. Everything I talk about in these videos is my opinion, and you guys got to do your own research. That's how it goes down. You can't just rely on somebody and just pick their stocks and just buy them because they're saying it, right? And that's kind of just my little disclaimer here to you guys, and I'm sure you all know that at this point, but for those that don't, right? So another one here is Tyson, TSN, and for those of you meat eaters out there, especially if you buy frozen stuff, I'm guilty of this. Tyson, right? They make chicken, all that good stuff. Well, if you're a vegan, you probably don't like that. If you're vegan, you probably like Beyond Meat. And let me tell you guys, my girlfriend, she's actually a vegetarian, and I've tried so many of those fake burgers, if you want to call them whatever, fake meat. And let me tell you, sometimes I actually prefer the fake meat, like Beyond Meat. There's so many from the grocery store that I don't even look at the brand. I just buy it and try it. Morningstar is another one, which I don't like as much as Beyond Meat. But let me tell you, sometimes I actually like the fake meat, if you want to call it that, more than the real one, if that makes any sense. And especially the burgers. The fake burgers are unbelievable, right? But enough with enough with that. We're talking about Tyson here, TSM. They had EPS of $1.81 versus $1.19 estimated. They beat nicely there on EPS, and revenue came in at $11.46 billion versus $11.01 billion estimated. So a nice double beat there for Tyson. This one, honestly, guys, I don't think it's worth chasing at this point, although it could end up breaking out of 65, which could mean, hey, a big leg up could be in the works. But the fact that we've gotten rejected so many times at 64, 65 ever since the crisis began, ever since, look at this, guys, the middle of March, we got rejected there once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We could start counting all day. That gives me, let's just put it this way, it doesn't give me confidence, right? It actually discourages me from getting into TSN, the fact that we failed so many times at 65. So for me, I'm waiting here a little bit, and if it breaks 65, maybe we can see a short rally up to 68. But overall, I'm going to be a bit careful on this one, although it did have a pretty solid earnings report. So that is TSN. And overall, those are honestly the only two earnings reports that we're going to talk about today. And we have a bunch of other exciting ones in the next couple of days that I'm way more excited about than Tyson Foods and JD.com. And those are Walmart, Home Depot, Neo. I think Lowe's is also on Wednesday. Yup, take a look here at the chart, guys. Tomorrow we have Walmart, Home Depot, Neo. Wednesday we have Target, Lowe's, Nvidia, Billy, and then Thursday we have Intuit, we have BJ's, we have Macy's, we have Ross, and then on Friday we have Foot Locker, Hibbett Sports, some Chinese companies here. So get ready. Although earnings season, the best is behind us in terms of the big companies, there's still a lot of companies that are reporting for the rest of this week and probably next week as well. So, I mean, we still have some to talk about. So let me know your thoughts down below. And speaking of my little vegan binge there, Beyond Meat is one of the first stocks I'm watching here for the rest of this week, guys. BYND. And again, I kind of like their products. They're a bit expensive. And, I didn't think at first when I was going to, start trying out the vegan foods, I'm like, come on, there's no way it's nearly as good. But let me tell you guys, if you haven't tried this stuff, it's crazy how they make it. It's like food technology at this point is what it's called. It's crazy how similar it is, and I'm not sure if it's healthier. That's not the debate I'm looking to have here. But in terms of taste, hey, it is pretty dang good. And speaking of the stock, up 2% today. It's holding this 125 level of support like a rock, guys. Take a look here, 5-day, 5-minute. The past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, ever since they reported earnings and took a huge hit from 170 that day to down to 105. Ever since that massive drop, this has been holding nicely, 125. So overall, the downtrend is one thing here that scares me. It's still intact on the 4-hour chart. We're under all the moving averages, but I think in the short term we could see a relief rally. Do you guys see what happened last time we took a big hit a couple days ago? Went from 160 down to about 145. We held that. We filled the gap up, back up to 160, right? So I think that is something that could happen here. We went down to 105. We filled the gap up to 125 last week. Now we're holding 125. I think the next gap we could end up getting to is 136, 137, right around this 50 SMA resistance on this 4-hour chart, right? That could be where we're heading to, and that gives Beyond Meat about a 6 to 7% upside from where wow, guys, I'm choking on my words here. From where it is right now, about 6 to 7% upside. So watch out for Beyond Meat. I'm interested in this one. I think there's potential. And Chewy stock, guys, CHWY. This one got a buy rating today from Needham. Needham. We'll say that for now. Needham put a buy rating on this, $75 price target, which is about 19% above from where it is right now. And they said overall Chewy is strongly positioned to gain new customers, drive retention through subscription, which, yeah, I agree, because I'm thinking about doing a subscription here for my dog, and capture wallet share as newer cohorts mature and spend more, the firm said. So, hey, I'm in agreement with this one. And we've been covering Chewy here, I can't remember for how long, but a couple of months at least. And I've been talking about how bullish I am on this particular stock, and I couldn't agree more with Needham. And it's probably Needham, I'm just messing around. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. And you guys can see we're seeing overall an ascending triangle here is kind of what we're looking at on the 4-hour chart. Big resistance at 71 to about 74, 75, but we're uptrending into the resistance, which if I extend this to the right, we might explode right out of there, which is why I guess they're looking at $75. And again, I couldn't agree more, because if we fill up to 71, we explode out of that ascending triangle, which is what, like if you're looking at, a textbook ascending triangle, it would break out, right? So if we follow that textbook move, it would go to 75. So again, I agree with them there. So Chewy, I'm interested in here. AMD is another one that we called out on Instagram, and it didn't play out as quickly as I thought it would, but it ended up playing out. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at StasSurfS, at StasSurfS, if you guys want more updates and you guys want to keep up with me throughout the day. We talked about on that story how this was actually at a big resistance at about, I think, 83.20. Let me double check here for you guys. Yeah, 83.20, 83.30. That is where we struggled last week, Thursday and Friday, right? So, and you guys can see, I think I called it out right around here, but then we sold off and then broke out of it today. And you can see we struggled again at 83.30. We sold off, and then we broke out of it heading into the close, and now here after hours we're up even higher. So this is looking bullish, right? We're getting out of the resistance, and on the 20-day chart, you can see, hey, there could be some upside up to that high from last week at about $89. I'm thinking more like $87, from 84 to 87. That honestly is, in my opinion, the next level that AMD could be getting to here. So another one here is Work, also known as Slack Technologies. This is kind of similar to Beyond Meat, the setup, right? Overall on the 4-hour chart, it's selling off. I mean, it's on a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, all that good stuff. I mean, I guess it's actually bad stuff, depending on if you're a bull or a bear. But we're seeing it hit a low, a bit of a relief rally now, and we actually closed above $26, which is an old resistance. So I think if we're able to hold this, and especially if we're able to break out of the resistance from last Friday, I think Work, Slack Technologies here does have upside, maybe up to about $28, which is where it was on here the 5th and on the 6th of, actually the 9th of November, right, at about $28. So watch out for the move from $26.50, maybe up to $28. That could be about a 6 to 7% move on Slack Technologies. And Virgin Galactic, guys, just when we thought the flight was going to occur, they postponed it indefinitely, guys, because of, yup, you guessed it, the CV. They pushed it back here. It was supposed to occur between the 19th and the 23rd. One of those days, that test flight, the first manned test flight from New Mexico, but they pushed it back. And the stock ended up selling off, down about 6% today, went from about $23 pre-market. Oh my goodness, guys, $23 pre-market, $23.50 almost, and it went all the way down to $20. It shed about 12, 13, 14% on this news, and it ended up, honestly, it's looking decent for the bulls. It closed on a decent upswing. We held a higher low on the 180 SMA on the hourly chart. We broke out of $20.70. We held that as support. So despite this bad news of them pushing it back indefinitely, the trend's still looking decent, and we might be able to make a short-term move into the 21-22 level, which is what I'm looking for. But with this lingering postponement, it might sell off as well for the next couple of days. This sell-off might, last a couple of days on this, I don't want to say bad announcement, but on this, let's say, disappointing announcement. So that's Virgin Galactic. Watch out for it. Another one here is Fiverr, FVRR. And we saw Upwork, which is competition of Fiverr, do very well today, up 7%. And Fiverr went up a little bit less, a lot less than that, up 3% almost. But I think this one has breakout potential if it's able to get out of 180. 180 right here is a big resistance, and this kind of does look like an ascending triangle as well. And I think if 180 can break, 182, 183, right around there, we might be able to get a short-term play up to 190, 195, which is where we did get to in the beginning of November, literally a couple of days ago, like a week ago. So yeah, watch Fiverr between 180 to 195, and we might get a little pull down tomorrow. Who knows? And honestly, guys, I wouldn't really play this until it gets out of 182, 183 into 185, and we'll see how it ends up going down. And the last one here is Ride, which I said we'll talk about later in the video, and if you guys stuck till the end, it's officially later in the video. So Ride, also known as Lordstown Motors, ended up getting some good news today. The company said they gave us the good news. The company said it has received about 50,000 non-binding production reservations for the vehicle, which is tailored for commercial buyers rather than individual owners. And by vehicle, they're talking about their endurance truck here. That's what it's called, the endurance truck. The average order size of the reservations is approximately 500 vehicles, according to a press release. And Lordstown said deliveries of the Endurance are expected to begin in September 2021, which is about 10 months away, with full production ramping up throughout 2022. The company expects to produce 40 to 50 new or quote-unquote beta prototype vehicles beginning in early 2021. The trucks will be used for crash, engineering, and validation testing, according to Lordstown. So they're ramping up, guys. They're looking to get to that full scaled out production in 2022. And the company also said, which I'm loving this, guys, it's in the process of doubling its employees to 500 by the end of the year, and then followed by 1,500 people by the end of 2021. So they're ramping up. They're hiring more people. That is the sign of a growing business, right? And I actually called this one out yesterday in Sunday's video, and I didn't play it, but if you guys played it, kudos to you, because it went up 26%, and obviously I had no idea this news was going to come out. It just happened, and yeah, if you guys played it, let me know in the comments down below. I'm really curious, and just because it went up 26% does not mean that it's over, because we were still pretty much very bullish here, right? We broke $20 resistance, $21 resistance, both moving averages here on the 4-hour chart. Yeah, we might cool off a bit, but we could still rally up higher. Let's say we cool off to $20, maybe $21. That could be an entry point. If that breaks, maybe $19.50 could be an entry point. So overall, guys, those are my thoughts on Lordstown Motors, some technical breakdowns, and a bunch of other stocks here that I'm looking at, earnings reports, and my thoughts on the markets in general. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I would like to know. And if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Let's try to get 450 likes on this video. I know it's a bit ambitious, but I think we can get it. And make sure to also get your 3 free stocks from WeBull. That actually runs out in 2 days from now. So deposit $100 down below and get your 3 free stocks, and they're valued up to $1,600. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, stay safe out there, guys. That's important. Stay safe out there. And yeah, peace out. I'll see you guys tomorrow.